All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, and we're picking up right where we left off, which was 78 million. We just got this passenger line in. It's just starting to work. We got the bus lines in, taking passengers to and from where they need to be so they can get to the transportation area. And there's some things that we need to work on. Like, I don't care for the fact that this track's separated. I mean, it's an aesthetic thing more than anything else, but it kind of bothers me. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It bothers me. So we're going to fix some things. Today's episode, we're really going to focus on making sure that the lines run well and also growth. So Milwaukee up here, it has requests 2 items. They want fuel and they also want packages. And then this town down here also wants fuel. And what we can do is, since we are producing fuel in this little refinery area, then we can turn around and, ship it off to the areas that we need to ship it off to. And that'll help their growth, and they'll grow bigger and better and greater and transport more people, which is what we want because we'll make more cash out of that. So just little things. I noticed that towards the end of the video that this line was actually starting to get a little bit congested. We might want to rethink that. There is also the concept of this passenger line and seeing if we can get a passenger line in from Springfield into Milwaukee, which would be helpful because that's 2 big towns. San Francisco and Springfield are huge. And I think they would really like to have passengers move back and forth. So that's what we're going to focus on today. We're also going to keep track of our lines. We put in a lot of lines. We're kind of losing money on some lines. It's not that dramatic. I mean, you look, we have $78 million. That is, losing little bits here and there is not that much. What we're going to do is we're going to tweak these lines, because the problem is that we have too much on that line. We have too many vehicles on the line, and we just tweak those numbers down a little bit, and then they start working out just well. So let's get started. I'll be back after I fix this weird separation in line right here. Okay, I got that track fixed. It's no longer separated anymore, so it's sitting right on top of each other. It looks a little bit better. I mean, it doesn't look like I have tracks going everywhere. That's a big thing, right? So what I want to do is I want to get some fuel, and I want to move that fuel into this town, and I also want to move it into Milwaukee. Now, I don't want to do it on this crazy road. I mean, look at this road. It's all twisty and turvy, and maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Maybe they've got it laid out so that the speed is consistent, but there could be a better direct line into Milwaukee instead of going this crazy windy route. And I roads are not that way. They move with the mountains and they move with the terrain, but we're going to fix it. So let's go ahead and fix it first, and then we'll start moving some fuel into these 2 cities. Okay, so I put in the new roadway. I made it more direct, right? I straightened it out. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't reconnect this back up again. So let me just reconnect up this little industry back up to the road. Okay, but everything else has been reconnected. So I did connect back up to the town down here, and I decided to go underneath the railroad track. That way I don't have to worry about cars going across and slowing this line down. And then we have a merge into it, so vehicles can go in here, and then also vehicles can then drive into Milwaukee. And this is all connected up and everything looks good. So let's get fuel moving back and forth and start delivering fuel into some of these towns. Now, fuel is really needed on this far side of this town. So let's look at seeing where we can get a truck station in place for this particular town. I'm probably going to have to get rid of a building or two. I don't know. We'll see. You know, something that is a decent area. Let me turn off that overlay. I can see this light up. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is pretty good too. If industry continues to keep growing out this way, that should be pretty decent. So let's stick with that. I mean, I like the way that it connects up to everything. So let's put one here. Now, the downside is that it's going to have to, all the trucks are going to have to go through town, which causes pollution and, you know, people don't really like it that much. But all right, so be it. Let's also hook up the refinery. And luckily we can get the refinery over here. If we can get this to sit in the correct area. Why it won't hook up at that on the hill, I'm not entirely sure. But I'll put it right here. So it's connected, right? So that's talking to each other. And then finally over here in Milwaukee, we need to see where the cargo is. Oh, good. It's on this downward side. It's on the lower half of the city. What would be ideal is to be right here in the middle somewhere. Let's fix that problem. I'm gonna have to get rid of probably one building. Maybe two buildings. But if we hook this up correctly, like this, maybe out a little bit more, and we cut this over, and then connect these guys up. Oh, we're gonna lose 3 buildings in total. All right, but that's okay. They'll grow back. I'm not entirely worried about that. I don't know why this. What kind of? Did I give them a country road? I don't know what kind of road I gave them. I don't like it, but it'll change. It'll grow. I'm not too concerned about it. It's more aesthetic than anything else. It will change. I mean, we're only in the early 1900s, so I mean, the roadway will get fixed. I think it'll like auto update itself. If not, we can upgrade it. So this actually is a perfect position, right in the middle of this area. And again, it's going to go partially through town, but that's okay. So let's get a vehicle depot. I think the best place to have the vehicle depot is down here. And well, okay, hold on. We have vehicle depots in each of these cities because we set up the bus line. So let's use those. Let's use those. So I'm going to buy some transportation vehicles. This is all cargo. Max is 60 kilometers an hour. I like that. For now, let's put on 10, right? I don't know how this is entirely going to work out. It's better to buy more and then fix it later. So we want a new line. And this is going to be truck. Oops, got to rename it. This fuel. Into was it highly? Okay, and then I want to, oops, I didn't put it on the line. I didn't put the vehicles on the line. Or did I put the vehicles on the line? No, I did not. Where's all those vehicles sitting there? Yeah, that's not the line we want them on. We want this. That line, which there's nothing. Let's go back to the line manager. I created a new line, but I didn't create any stops for that. So let's go. We want to add a station. We want this station over here. to the station. Okay, perfect. Done and done. And I believe the vehicles are set on that line now. Let's just go back and double check. Yes, we've got vehicles. Okay, that's a short distance. I have the, I'm making the assumption that we're actually going to delete some vehicles because I think that's a short distance and I don't think 10, I think 10 is going to be too many. Let's now let's create the line first. Let's create a line and I want it to go from here down into here. Now, this is significantly longer, so maybe I'll need 20? I'm thinking 20. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, well, that distance is pretty far, so I'm thinking 20. Truck. It's fuel. And it's into Milwaukee. Okay. I think I misspelled Milwaukee up here. Yep. I and the U are next to each other, so I got a little typo there. Okay, good. And yeah, let's buy some vehicles for that. So we're gonna buy 20 of these. It's gonna be about 4 million, right? Yep, 4 million. And let's assign it to this new line that I just put in place. All right, it looks right. I guess I didn't make a mistake. We'll see what happens here. Those 20 vehicles should go out. Let's go ahead and get started here. Those 20 vehicles are coming out. Let's just make sure that they're going in the right direction and they're not going somewhere crazy. These guys are coming down. Yes, these are my 20. They're not these. The bus has a different icon. They have a single, or they have a double. They're having to wait behind the bus. Okay, they're going into here. Great. All right. So then they'll come down into this area over here. Now, this area over here should start collecting fuel soon. These trucks are going out. They're getting spaced, right? So the deal is they go to this station, they wait, they get spaced. And let's make sure that we have enough storage capacity because that's one of the biggest hang-ups is that we wind up losing fuel or anything actually if you don't have enough capacity for it. Now, we're going to have to wait until oil comes in. We just got some oil delivery going in. Is this connected? Let's make sure we have consumers. Yes, we have consumers. They're actually starting to ship to these particular cities. So as more fuel comes in, most of it's going to San Francisco right now, but as more fuel comes in, it'll get delivered to other places. Just want to make sure that we're getting it into Hiley. It's definitely going to Milwaukee. Okay, well these guys are going from point A to point B. They are the appropriate vehicles, right? Oh, good. We just got a new truck. Dang it. I hate when that happens. Okay, yeah, it looks like they're going to the appropriate place. We might not have enough. All right, we'll watch this. I don't think we made a mistake on this line. These are the right vehicles. Yep, Opel Blitz. And the Opel Blitz is... want to make sure. We got this one, right? All cargo. Good. Double check. Yep. All right, so I don't entirely know why this is not lighting up yet. It is correct. It is going to the correct location. This line is correct. I believe the only problem here is that we just don't have enough fuel going in to produce. So we're going to let time run. We're going to let this fix itself. So give it a minute. All right, it didn't take too long. Now it's recognizing the fact that Haley needs fuel as well, so it's getting shipped as well. So, all right, so let's go back to management. This line looks actually pretty decent. Now, we need to look at demand for stuff because, again, you know, when you initially set up some of your lines and your vehicles on it. You want to make sure that demand is there. Obviously, the Milwaukee bus has too many vehicles on it. So we're going to go to the vehicle manager. We're going to drop maybe half of the vehicles that are on this line and just sell them off. And so we have it down to 4. We can watch our passenger count. So you can see that we're roughly about half of what our max passengers are. And that's going to help efficiency. So this particular Haley bus line, I don't think probably doesn't need 3. So let's go ahead and sell off the vehicle here. We'll just watch this. See if 4 is too many. 4 might be too many. We have a capacity of 84 here, but we also have like too many vehicles. So let's go ahead and sell off some vehicles. And we can add vehicles later. That's not that big of a deal. We just want to kind of make sure that our capacity matches roughly of what our passengers are going to be, or the amount of people that we're moving around. Springfield's got way too many buses on there. Huge capacity to move people around, but people aren't using it. So we're going to get rid of half for now. So this line, the Haley line, has already kind of cleared itself out. The Milwaukee line is starting to clear itself out. It'll start making a profit. Same thing with Springfield. It'll start making a profit. Now the Springfield food line, not entirely sure. This particular food line, let's go back and look at this line over here. Okay, this is the fuel line, and we'll just wait on the fuel line. Our problem is we're not producing enough fuel. So we need to get more fuel in. How's the oil doing? The crude oil, we're not producing enough crude oil. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to run a quick line from here to here and start really pumping up the amount of crude that we're producing. So let me do that really fast and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the track set up. I'm just about to buy the train and I just wanted to show you guys how crazy this is. So, you know, 78 million and 98 million, 96 million. Doesn't really matter because when you're buying trains, one single train that is worth 21 million, it's insane, right? It's absolutely insane. So I have to set up the passengers. I did have to do some rework. Excuse me. I did have to do a little bit of rework. So let's get a new line in. I want this line to be from this particular San Francisco station into San Francisco South. This is going to be a train line that is just doing oil. This is just doing the crude oil. And it's going into San Fran. Okay. All right, so that's all set up. We have our vehicle. We can put on a new line. Through to San Fran. Good. And so this is all configured. So like I said, I had to reconfigure this. I had to give me a secondary track because I didn't want to interfere with this track. There's a lot of trains on this, so I didn't want to interfere with that. There's a red thing here because I broke the track line. But it should be resolved as soon as we turn it back on again. I also turned off a bunch of trains until I fixed the line. So let's go turn those guys back on again. I believe it was 4. It was 4. Good. And now we should be starting to get enough refined oil done. So crude is going to come in here. It's going to get refined into oil, which is going to be taken down into the fuel refinery. And we should get enough fuel to start sending off to all those other cities. So let's go ahead and watch that for a little bit. Let's see what happens. This train is going to come out. It's going to go in. I don't think that there's anything sitting on this line. It is producing. We have 13. I didn't expect a lot. 13 is fantastic. It has the capacity. This train has capacity, I believe, for like 80 or something. 96. So this will repopulate. By the time that it gets back, it'll be full load. Should be a full load. Should be able to stay on top of the production of it. Let me just make sure all these trains are running. Yeah, all these trains are looking good. Let me just look at this over here. Oops, not the vehicle. Okay, we're still not getting enough. So this is going to drop off some oil. And it's on its way back. I did double track this just in case to get another train. But I need just to see how the production's going. I mean, the production is 400. That's, you know, that's what it's going to produce. I'm going to get a full load. I'm only going to need one train. Yeah, it's going to get a full load. We'll see if we can get more. Let me just make sure that this line is resolved. Line management. Let's try to fix it. There we go. Okay, that's all resolved. Don't know why that was saying it was broken. I think maybe this connection, this junction right here. Okay, this guy went. That guy's gonna go. There's another guy back here. There's another guy back here. It should start seeing the spacing out. I had the spacing correct, but then I stopped it. And so it might be a little bit janky for right now. We'll see what happens. There's one line that I'm not too sure about either, so... These guys are looking okay. Let's look at our lines really fast. The crude is kind of weird, yes, because I just messed it all up. That was our big money producer. These guys are still not making money. These fuel lines, they will be making money. If you notice, we fixed these buses. All these buses are resolved. The passengers are not making as much money as I'd like them to make, but I think really what we need to do is we need to get Springfield running. Once we get a passenger line from Springfield into Milwaukee, I think you're going to see a lot more travel. Okay, so these guys are producing a ton of crude oil waiting to go into the refinery. The refinery is probably empty. Yep, it's empty. That's because we messed up with that. We messed up with that line. Okay, this guy should be coming in. He's dropping off crude. He's picking up oil. Okay, yep. Took a full load. How much do we have sitting on the platform? We have 90 sitting on the platform. So this guy's also going to get a full load. He's dropping off crude. He did have some oil before. Now he's fixed. He's finally resolved. He's going to be moving on. Okay, he's going to take a full load in. How much do we have waiting? We have 90 something waiting. This is great. This guy should what? He's got a full load of crude. And he's going to pick up the refined oil. Good. Let's look at the refinery. Now we have, yes. The refinery finally has enough stored. I did see that there was some sitting there. Nice! Some sitting there. Refinery is going to start producing more. Consumers, good. We're going to get more and more fuel coming in being stored. It's going to start producing more and more. These lines hopefully will start turning a profit. Now, what is the demand? It's 41. Demand is 41 for fuel. And in Milwaukee, the demand is 100. So we should start seeing a nice production. This line's going to take a little bit to get going, but once it gets going, it'll produce. It'll produce. These guys are definitely getting enough oil. We could get more. Probably, maybe, can we support a second line? Second train on this line? We could support. Okay, so let me stop it. Theoretically, we could support a second train on this line. So let's do that. Let's see. What line was this? That was crude oil to San Francisco, right? So if we go into vehicle manager, crude oil to San Francisco. It was a train. Come on. Crude to San Francisco. We can duplicate that. Let's clone that guy. And once he turns around, let's stop him. Okay, stop him. Let's wait for this guy to go in. I thought I did clone it. Hold on. I did, but where's this train at? Holy frig, why did it come from way up there? It's not going to be able to... Yeah, that's not going to work. I want him to come from down here. Oh, well, that was kind of strange. I don't know why the depot for it chose way up there for the depot. That's crazy. That is crazy. Put this on this through to San Francisco line. Good. Okay. We'll wait for that train to come out. Have him go and pick up fuel once he turns around. Okay, good. I stop him. So stop the... Let's turn this guy back on again. Alright, good. Good and good. Alright, so they should be... Yeah, they should play nicely together. Hopefully, we'll stay on top of our production. We should stay on top. I mean, this is producing 400. Now that it has enough, it should... We should be able to replenish back and forth, which is going to help this guy out. Which will then in turn help this guy out. I do see fuel coming in here. We might have too many vehicles, so we're going to have to space. But we're going to do that next time. We got those fuel lines in. We got a little bit more crude in. We did fix the passenger line. We're going to do that. We're going to continue to keep refining our lines. Everything is starting to make money again. The passenger line... Again, the passenger line, we need to definitely go from Springfield to San Francisco. That'll help that out. And then we'll work on this fuel line next time. I mean, it is starting to come down. It's starting to make money. It's not that it's not making money. It is making money. We're just transporting too much. So Milwaukee, we have the capacity to transport 240, but remember the town only really wanted 100. So we need to... Yeah, they only wanted 100. So we need to reduce the number of trucks on there. And that'll help spread this fuel out between the two towns. And then the two towns will continue to grow. And, you know, the refinery is about to produce more as well. We're about to go to the next tier. So it's going to start pumping out more. We have plenty stored as things are getting shipped. There it is. It just went up to the next level, which means it will start producing a lot more fuel. And we'll start seeing an excess happen on this particular truck line. But that's it. So thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. If you like the series, hit the like button. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. Make sure you guys become a subscriber because we've got a great community here. And hit that notification bell so you know when I go live and when I post new videos. Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.